Hajimemashite, boku wa JD desu. Hey everyone out there in YouTube land. Trying something new today. Lucy and I have decided to try this out. I'm going to start it off by doing an old project, and basically what it is that we're writers, or at least aspiring writers, and instead of dredging through and attempting to write a whole book in one go and then publish it and blah 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 blah, I came up with what I feel is ingenious. We're going to read it through and share it on YouTube. So all you have to do is watch a few ads for a good story. I'm starting this test off, so if you like the idea, this is not the story her and I will be working on. Our story is kind of like The Time Traveler's Wife or any of those similar movies, but this one is about, well, I'll let you figure out what it's about. If you like the idea, if you like this story, definitely subscribe. If nothing else, drop a like and drop a comment about what you like about the idea. This actually, I don't know why this did not occur to me sooner than this. So let's get into it. We're going to start out by proclaiming copyright of 2011, and that's under me, J.D. Cox. Chapter 1, title, Yes, They Know. Cold, blinding white horizon. How in the hell am I going to find anything in this? Much less actually shoot it. With no wind and no other noise, every time I move it sounds like an auditorium suddenly filled with applause. And how can there be so many tracks going in so many different directions but no signs of what had left them behind? I wanted this trip so badly when I booked it in April. Just shoot whatever you see, unless it's a white bear, came from my guide, Matt, just behind me and over my shoulder. You mean a polar bear, Matt? I shot back at him. Of course, Dale. The white ones are polar bears. He shot back, just over the volume of a whisper with a slight dose of arrogance. We obviously could not move around without any natural sounds to cover our snow, crunching footfalls. So we waited, what must have been several hours. Being late June and again, sorry, I'm new to this. Being late June in near Selawik, there is no way for me to tell the time of day without my watch, which happens to be in my pack. Being a boy from Arkansas, I'm used to the sun actually setting. Noise. Finally, something is moving near enough that we can hear it. A hand lands gently on my shoulder. Get ready, and keep your finger off the trigger. It could be another hunter. Even as Matt spoke, I was raising my rifle in the general direction of the noise. Shifting my weight and raising my left leg to steady myself would have been enough noise to alert whatever was moving about, because it froze. Luckily, I had reached the position I needed. I was even facing the direction from which I felt the massive beast would reveal itself. Whatever it was found no threat in the noise I had produced. In fact, it seemed to change direction slightly towards me. Another whisper. Dal, be ready. Even if it's a polar bear. Whatever it is wants to find us too. And I hear this distinctive sound of his .454 being pulled from the hip holster that it rested inside. Lord knows I'd heard that damn noise more than twice a day since we left the airplane. I offered a nod in acknowledgement. The distinctive sound of snow being crushed is getting louder, but nothing can be seen. Whatever it is must be huge and have perfect hearing, 'cause it's not cleared the tree line despite moving toward us for at least 30 seconds. Then it happened. A shot rings out. I jump up and yelp at near the top of my lungs. A sharp pain screaming at me from just below my knee. And in confusion, I shout, "What the hell?" Matt thrust his knife-wielding hand into the snow around my feet. What he pulls from the snow is a bloody mess that makes us fall back in laughter. On the edge of the black finished blade is now a dead rabbit, white as snow, but for the stark contrast of crimson lines running along its flanks. The bite burns like a sting of a wasp, throbbing with each heartbeat, ending my laughing outburst. I had traveled all of this distance, knowing that I would bring nothing but pics and stories home. 6 days in backcountry, and what do I have to show for it? A scar below the knee. "Did it scare you that bad?" Matt asked while cleaning his blade, still showing amusement in his eyes. Dell picked himself up and brushed his pants with the gloved hand. "If you had been attacked from under the snow, would you have taken a start too?" "Attacked? He just ran into you at full speed. Couldn't see any better than we saw him." "Really? Well, he took a bite." "Maybe only a rabbit, but he bit hard." "Put those two together and bam!" Clapping his hands together for emphasis, Dell said in defense. "He bit into you? Let me have a look at this." Dell could see the curiosity in Matt's eyes, but some of the amusement still lingered. Walking over to a tree that had fallen long enough ago that no limbs remained, Dell sat and raised his leg. There was no need to brush off the snow below his knee. A bright red oval, about the size of a golf ball, had formed on his white trousers, a few inches above his boot. "We'd better head back and have that looked over," Matt said over his shoulder while walking back, collecting the critter that had caused it. He withdrew a small burlap satchel from his pack and slid the rabbit in, tying it off. "Dinner?" Dell asked. "Nope, it may be rabbit." "Rabid." Shit, it probably was rabbit, attacking like that, keeping that last thought to himself. "Damn, I sure hope not. I hate shots." Part 2. The local looking over specialist was also a veterinary specialist. Depending on which door you chose to walk through. However, she was a board-certified medical doctor. Tammy Johnson was slender and stood a few inches higher than the tallest of the two men in her waiting area. "A rabbit attacked you, you say?" Tammy asked, thinking there was a joke at hand. "Ran right at us, under the snow, like it was hunting us. Thought it was a bear or something larger." Dell virtually blurted this out, and then he added, pointing to Matt, "He has it out on the bench for rabies tests." "All right," Tammy considered it for a moment. "You stay up here, Matt. Mr. Earl, follow me, please." She had no nurse. Maybe on lunch. Dell followed the doctor into an exam room, where she assisted him with removing his boots and rolling back his pant leg. She could see that sutures would be needed before cleaning the wound. Scoot back on the table and lay down. I'm about to clean this up. While cleaning the wound, she noticed that it was very clean cut, no jagged edges. This was fortunate. It'd make it easier to stitch, and healing would be faster. Dale seemed to barely notice when she began flushing the wound. He did, however, tense up for the sutures. A needle is a needle regardless of being attached to a syringe or a thread. Though deep, the gashes were not very long. 2 top teeth and what looked like 1 bottom tooth had penetrated. Alright, Mr. Washington, the time it takes to get results out here from a rabies test will take a few days. So I'm going to administer a full spectrum series of injections. Dale was not pleased by this, and the worst was yet to come. You'll need to come back in before you leave tomorrow and get a second tetanus shot. Then visit your doctor when you get home. You'll need additional injections in 3, 7, and 14 days. Dell nodded. Can we still send off the rabbit? That way if it's clean, I can skip a shot or 2? Sure thing. I'll call you personally when the results come in. But be sure not to miss an injection. Rabies has nearly 100% mortality rate in humans, she said with her head tilted down as if she were looking over reading glasses. His face made it clear that no further explanation would be needed.